How much detail does a person need? Welcome to Bible on the Go with Dr. Dan. Revelation 17 and 18, toward the end of this great book, are full of detail. The question is, do you want to read it? Because it's very descriptive of everything that's evil in the world. For example, in verse 1, the way he introduces it. Then one of the seven angels who had the seven bowls and spoke with me and said, "Come, I will show you the judgment of the notorious prostitute who is seated on many waters." Oh, so the key here is you're going to see all this evil is going to be judged and judged severely. Not just a little bit, but all of it. And so the description, for example, in verse 5 of chapter 17 is intentional by John to record the whole description of evil in this picture in verse 5. On her forehead, this is a woman that he saw, a great prostitute. On her forehead was written a name, a mystery. Babylon the Great, the mother of prostitutes and of the detestable things of the earth. Well, that sums it up. And chapter 17 is an explanation from one of the angels that had poured out the seven bowls of God's judgment in the previous episode. And it's the explanation is of this prostitute and this beast, and a detailed account of the evil activity of this world. Not just a little, but the whole sum of everything that's evil in the world. This stands in contrast to their enemies, which are the people of God. John, in fact, explains in verses 7 through 9 that the beast is the enemy of God, and frankly, that's the whole of chapter 17 through 18. In verse 14, we see a kind of a summary statement. After all the descriptions of the ugliness of evil, it says, "These will make war against the Lamb, but the Lamb will conquer them, because he is the Lord of lords and King of kings. Those with him are called chosen and faithful." You see, these are the kinds of verses in this type of narrative that we want to focus on, because it's summary, it's victorious, and it's clear in its description of what belongs where. Chapter 18 is the songs of celebration of the destruction of all that is evil in the world. One song after another. At the conclusion of one of these songs celebrating the destruction of all this evil, it says, "Rejoice over her, heaven, and you saints, apostles, and prophets, because God has pronounced on her the judgment she passed on you." So a very clear and definitive call to rejoicing, because this evil is being defeated. And then, as we come to the end of chapter 18, we notice that darkness, as dark and evil and prolific as it is dispelled by light. All of this in chapters 17 and 18 is written to draw the great contrast between the evil of the world and its systems, and sets us up for the victorious descriptions in chapters 19 through 22 to come. The might and victory of God in these chapters that follow. Thanks for watching Bible on the Go with Dr. Dan. Hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell to be reminded of new content. Praise God!